Is it even worth doing van life in the UK anymore? Especially when there's new laws and policies coming into place that are going to prohibit van lifers from parking up overnight.
I found myself a situation full of woe and complication.
We're in Scarborough, and this is honestly probably one of the most famous park-ups in the whole of the UK, mainly due to the incredible views, but probably also due to the sheer amount of spaces down here as well. You can fit so many vehicles parked up down here. That's our van parked up there in one of the last few days where you can actually get away with doing it overnight on this stretch of coastline. As you guys know, we have been doing van life for the last few years, and since we've started van life 3.5+ years ago, there's been lots of changes in the UK. We've seen many park-ups shut down, and this most recent news is an interesting one.
Maybe I'll find you on my last day.
So this latest restriction has made national news for very, very good reason as well, because of the for and against motorhomers, campervanners, van lifers parking up overnight here on the coast. We'll get to that in a second. The initiative itself is a trial, an 18-month trial, what we believe is set up by the local council in response to alleged complaints about motorhomers and van lifers leaving rubbish, starting fires, that sort of thing. The response by local councillors is to ban overnight parking at this very, very famous spot, regardless of how many spaces there are, regardless of the fact that this place is almost empty during the winter time. Janine and I have been doing full-time van life for the last few years, and this is we enjoy this time of year because you get beauty spots like this to yourself. So what sense does it make banning everybody because of just a few people littering and starting fires? We're at a bit of a crossroads ourselves because we've been having, all of our problems with van life has happened due to vehicles, not because of the actual park-ups themselves. But there's absolutely no denying that the landscape has changed massively in the UK with regards to van life and attitudes towards van lifers. Directly probably as a result about the sheer amount of vans on the road at the moment in the UK. Post-COVID, during COVID, sales of motorhomes and camper vans skyrocketed. It's now dropped again, so we believe. We're in contact with a lot of people, a lot of dealers, and they've said that the market has completely dropped back to what it was pre-COVID times. So now there's a lot of motorhomes and camper vans on the road. A lot of people have the option for taking their camper van out to either live in, go for away for a couple of weeks, or even just go for the weekend. And this would be a really ideal spot, and it's probably very, very busy during the summertime. What's really interesting about this case in Scarborough is that it costs between £10 and £11 to actually park here for 24 hours. So for maybe a lot of van lifers, for us for instance, we think that's good value to park up here for that amount of time with these incredible views and incredible walks and what have you. So the local economy is benefiting from people parking here. Right now, at this time of year, there's, I would say, an eighth of parking spaces, maybe a tenth of parking spaces are actually being taken up. The rest are completely vacant. And some of those are filled with vans that will not be filled with vans come a few days' time. What's really interesting about this case is that the people that are opposing campervanners in this van lifers in this area are locals who are complaining, and we've seen locals complain about van lifers every single place that we've ever parked up, even when they're not causing a nuisance. And what's really interesting is there's been a petition against the new restrictions, of course, which from what we hear thousands of people have signed. And in that petition is local businesses saying that they think it's a bad thing to ban motorhomers and van lifers, which is really, really interesting because if you see it from a business perspective, during the summertime, a huge proportion of people who will be buying food, cafes, takeaways, restaurants, whatever, will be people who are sleeping overnight in their motorhome on the beach here on one of the many, many hundreds of, if not maybe 1,000 spaces here, who knows? So local businesses will be losing out on that economy. Then during the winter time, right now, I would say that motorhomers and campervanners are taking up a good majority of the spaces, or a significant number of the spaces, which means that they'll also be during the winter times when there are no tourists, they are losing out on that altogether. One of the big concerns for local businesses is that this new law that lasts for 18 months on trial, which might as well be forever, is going to scare away van lifers for good.
Hey baby, tell me what's wrong. Are you sad when you're all alone? Hey baby, what's going on? You couldn't tell me if I was gone. So where has your good heart gone when you say we're over and done? Oh baby, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Oh,
Janine and I, doing this for so long, I've always had sort of two laws, two sort of unofficial laws or pacts for ourselves that we make whilst doing van life. The first one is the one that the majority of van lifers that we have met, and we've met a lot on the road, is leave no trace. And when I'm talking about the vast majority of people, that is the vast majority of people. If you're living this life that makes no sense to ruin the park up for the next people that's coming along, or for future people, or for yourself when you return here, so what is the point of littering? The second one is that Janine and I do as well, is we spend our money in local independent businesses, and we let them know when we arrive somewhere that that's what we're doing. In fact, we've done it all the time, whether it's just a coffee or groceries or bakeries or whatever. We've always spent our money at local businesses wherever we park the van for the night. So businesses do benefit from van lifers. I'm not sure what you think about this, but surely it makes sense rather than to ban so many people from using this place overnight anymore, would be to impose fines on those people that litter or start fires when they shouldn't be doing so. Another law that we came across when we was in Spain was the wild camping law. Effectively, you're allowed to camp overnight, but as soon as you are in a motorhome camping overnight and you get your chairs out, your camping chairs out, or your awning, barbecues, that sort of thing, then it's classed as wild camping and they'll fine you for it. I'm not saying that they should ban wild camping in the UK, but maybe the whole sort of like getting the awning out, because we know that's another problem that locals have with van lifers, is they get all of their gear out and they leave it outside like they're setting up their territory sort of thing. Either way, I think there's many sort of solutions to this rather than just straight up banning people from camping overnight.
You got me headed to the left, headed to the right, headed back and forth, but baby, it's alright.
What are you up to?
I'm making you a sandwich.
Thank you.
Aren't you lucky? I've got a cup of tea on as well, and I've got the best view. I actually really love this van. It's the perfect size for us. I know it's only a rental, but for now, it's just amazing. It's got a bed at the back, which is set up the whole time, and it fits in a parking space, so it's not actually too big. And it's got this gorgeous dining area here. You can just relax. And a kitchen that overlooks the sea when you open the door. I love it. I always love this setup here. And yeah, it's perfect for Scarborough.
Dizzy, 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 dizzy on my feet. Can't eat, can't sleep every day of the week. All day, all night, running around. I'm never gonna stop because you never settle down.
Cool, so we're back in the van. It's evening out time and it's really, really nice here. Apart from the odd car whizzing by, it's a great park up. Not perfect by any means because of the traffic, but a good one regardless. And we feel very, very fortunate to be here on one of the last few nights at this amazing, incredible park up for however long it's existed for. We really, really hope that Scarborough Council revoke their trial. It doesn't make any sense to us. I don't know if it makes sense to you. Please leave a comment if you think what you think the Scarborough Council should do about it. But we believe that rather than tarnishing everybody with the same brush, why not impose fines on people littering or making fires, that sort of thing. However, having said that, with regard to doing full-time van life in the UK, I did say, is it worth it at the start? And for Janine and myself, we do believe it is definitely worth it. If you're on the fence about van life, don't let this park up and the other beauty spots being shut down put you off from it. Van life is so much more than these park ups. For us, it's the pursuit of freedom, and we get to roam around and travel around and see different places and live a life with less constraints as what we might do if we would have lived in a house, a rental house, or with a mortgage or what have you, which is definitely not the life for us. So that leads on to what Arjun and I are going to do moving forward. Well, I'm very, very excited to tell you that we are going to be continuing van life. It is our chosen lifestyle. Despite all of the setbacks we've had, it's still not put us off. We are going forward still, because maybe this is all just about finding the right van. That's what we think anyway. We are still planning on going to America. We are still planning on getting the right van. And the good news is that we are going to be driving this very rental van back to River Motorhomes in Stratford, by the way, who we really, really recommend, because not only do they rent out vans like this, which has been the perfect van because it's got a toilet, shower, kitchen, fixed bed. It's the right size, yet it fits in a parking space, but they've got a whole load of other rentals to do it as well, including motorhomes and what have you. And they also sell motorhomes and camper vans, so go check them out if you're in the Midlands or further afield, and we'll leave the link in the description to them. But we're going to be taking this back to them tomorrow, and where we're going to be picking up our brand new camper van. We have got a new camper. We think this time that we've got it right, but rather than me telling you about it, next time you see us, I'll show you. And yeah, let's see what you think. Thanks for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the content, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on this crazy journey that we call van life. See you next time. Good night. What's that sound? Is that the things over here?
It's the sea.
No, there's another sound as well. It's like going.
Don't say that. I really don't want
You know when you don't know your own van, like, because this is a rental. I don't know what I'm assuming that's the diesel heater that we've left on.
It's the sea.
The sea does not make a raring sound like that all the time. A consistent sound. I understand what waves sound like, and I know what diesel heaters sound like. That sounds like a diesel heater. I'm gonna have to get back up and check.
Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.